Hi, good morning. Today is Sunday, March 22nd. I'll be posting this Monday, March 23rd. I am going to be talking in these weekly videos about the composer of the month, the composition assignment, the word of the week, and our scales. So since everybody pretty much does the exact same thing during this time, I figured it would be a good opportunity to kind of just mush it all together. So I am going to get started by talking about the word of the week, which means go ahead and get your binder out, go to your glossary. Once you're there, go to the R's, because the first word of this week that we're learning is rubato. Now, it's not like roboto. That wouldn't be right. It's rubato. So it's R-U-B-A-T-O. Rubato. Now, rubato does not mean to be stiff. It means, for the definition, you can put to play expressively at the musician's pace. So you get to choose how you want it to sound. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to show you an example of what that might sound like. So this is my Melody Bo Bear Grand Solos for Piano book. I'm going to play the song Valse Dramatico. If you look in this book, I believe it's right. See, it says flowing with rubato. So I'm going to play this song a few different ways. I'm going to start off by playing it just flowing. So I'm not going to add any rubato. Again, rubato is when you really get to add your little gestures to it. You get to just put your emotion into it. So I'm just going to play it flowing. Just flowing. Now I'm gonna try to speed it up a little bit, because with rubato you have the musician, the musical expression that the musician gets to choose. So we're gonna do it fast this time. So that's fast. Now let's try to really slow it down. That's what slowing it down would kind of sound like. Me, I tend to mix it up. So I like it to go slow and fast, but again, with the way it's written, rubato lets you do it however the artist or musician would like it done. So I'm going to show you how I would play this. And there's no right or wrong way. Mixed it. I made it kind of all the different styles, but it let off a completely different sound. So that is our word of the week. Don't forget it is rubato. Don't forget to write it down in your glossary and put that definition to play expressively at the artist's choice. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to learn our next scale. So you have it in the folder labeled At Home Warm-Ups. I have the original here. It's this where it says C major scale, 5-finger major patterns. We are going to go to the G major scale. But first, let's review C major. So for C major, you're going to put your hands in C position, your thumb on the C, your pinky on the C. I'm going to make sure everybody can see where I'm putting my hands. We're going to start off with our C's. D's, E's, F's, G's, F's, E's, D's, C, E, G, E, C, then all together. We should know that because we've been working on that for a few weeks. Now the fingering in G major is identical to C major. The only difference is the position. We're going to take our hands up. We're going to move to G position. That is when our right thumb is on G right above C, and our left pinky is on the G right here. So I'm going to try to let you see. Give me just a moment. So this is where my left hand is. And see, my thumb is on D. And then my right hand is right here. G and D. So left hand, right hand. So now that we got that down, I'm going to play it for you. So we're going to go the same thing. G, A, B, C, D, C, B, A, G, B, D, B, G, and then all together. So G, A, B, C, D, C, B, A, G, A, no, G, B, D, B, G. So the most important things are going up one finger at a time, lowest fingers to the next highest, to the next highest, next highest, next highest, back down, and then we're going to skip our second and fourth fingers and go back down, G, and then 1, 3, and 5 on both hands. See, 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 3, 5. And you should practice that. You can start off slow and just increase speed as you go. So that is our G major scale. Be sure before every song you practice that you play your G major scale first. So now that we've done our G major scale and I've shown you the word of the week, we're going to review. So we were going to be having our test on Beethoven since this month is so special and everything is pushed a week behind. I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to review and we're going to talk about it. We never read this first page together. I told you to just read it on your own. So I'm just going to go back and I'm going to emphasize on some things. I want you to study this week because next week there will be the test. I'm going to ask 3 questions about something we've learned about Beethoven, and you'll have to answer them without your book during our video lesson. And that's how I'm going to grade you based off the vocal answers you repeat back to me. But we know that Beethoven was a German pianist. He was born in Germany in 1770. His birthday is unclear because his father would often forge his birth documents to make him appear younger and more like a prodigy, which, make no mistake, I do believe he was. He was very talented, and in fact, by the age of 6, he was already composing his own songs very successfully, might I add. His father was an alcoholic and he was very abusive to him. He would force him to stand on the bench to reach his keys, and he would have him play day in and day out. He was not a very well educated man. He finished school when he was 10, and by the age of 11 he dedicated his life to being a pianist and did it professionally. Fun fact, his favorite food is mac and cheese. At the age of 21, he moved to Vienna, Austria to meet Mozart, who briefly mentored him until his unfortunate passing. Beethoven began to go deaf at age 26. Now, this is a common misconception. A lot of people, including myself, was led to believe that he was born deaf. But in fact, he had all of his hearing until he was 26. And it was often theorized that whenever he was writing his music, he would lay his head against the piano and try to feel the vibrations of the strings as he went, which is a fun fact. And actually, while he was completely deaf, he wrote Symphony Number 9, one of his most popular symphonies to date. You may recognize it. Well, you should know it because we listened to it in class last week. But in case you didn't, that's his famous Ninth Symphony that he wrote while he was completely deaf. He did have many love interests, but he could never settle down on account of his bad temper, most likely inherited by his father. And when he finally passed away in 1827, over 20,000 people attended his funeral. That's a lot of people for 1827. I do want you to go back and I want you to look and think about why we examined this piece the way we did. The listening exercise, just remember some of the songs that we listened to and which ones meant the most to you. Because this was all about Beethoven and his life and what he's contributed to piano as we know today. So with the Composer of the Month wrapped up, just make sure you study. And the last thing we're going to move on to is our composition assignment. So this, you can go ahead and you can flip to that tab and get a pen. Oh, wait a second. You should have a pen. All right, you found your pen by now. If not, go ahead and click pause so you can get one. Go ahead and flip to your Compose tab, and I'm going to tell you what I want you to write. So under Date Assigned, I want you to write 3-23. Number of measures, circle 4. I do not want you to have a repeat on this song. The key signature should be 4/4, so that means 4 beats in every measure. Not 4 notes, 4 beats. The position is in C position. I want you to do treble clef only, which would be right here, just C, D, E, F, G. It should not be the C up here, the G up here, the E here. It should be right on middle C. Only these 5 notes. Wow, that sounds lovely when you press them all together. I want it to be in fortissimo. You should be able to circle that based off what I'm saying, which means very loud. It should be happy. And I would like for you to add some legato in there. So that means I want you to play it very smooth. Smooth and happy in C position. So, and loud. Don't forget loud. So when you're playing it back to me, these are the things I'm going to be looking for. That is pretty much our video for this week. It's a little bit under 15 minutes. But we're doing it all back to back to back, and that normally doesn't happen in class. But I hope you all are able to follow along and continue to do our normal curriculum. I look forward to our 30-minute lessons with each other. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment down on this video. Even though I'm saying we have 30 minutes for our playing and our theory, it's one-on-one. If you have any questions during that time about this, I'm fine with extending the lesson by a few minutes. I hope y'all all have a wonderful week and stay safe.